Okay, hi there. This review was written by Roland Simon. Anyone who visits the Chronicle restaurant will wax lyrical about my favourite restaurant. So restaurant and restaurant, no. My favourite eatery, my favourite watering hole's more like a place to drink. I'm going to put eatery. My favourite place to eat. Ooh, we need to put this in capital so you can see. Place to eat. By the time I visited it, no at. So, by the time that I visited it the first time, I realised that it was love at first sight. So by the time this says that it happened before you ate it. So you can't put by the time. By the time I visited it, I had done lots of investigation into it. By the time that I arrived home, the dinner had been served. Yeah, so this is something that happens before something else. By the time that you read this, read and listen to this video, you will understand better your mistakes. So let's change this then. You want something, okay. On the first occasion that I visited it, I realised it was love at first sight. I knew. So, on the first occasion that I visited it, I knew that it was love at first sight. Chronicle restaurant is situated in Ópusztaszer, the heritage park, which is definitely an ideal hideaway from our noisy, strident modern world. Lovely. Ópusztaszer is the cradle of the state of Hungary. The building has a rustic style which reminisces visitors, which reminds visitors of typical peasant houses. Okay, so which makes one reminisce about typical peasant houses. This is remind, yeah. The building has a rustic style which stimulates reminiscences of, so reminds visitors of, take out the V, of typical peasant houses from the last centuries. The garden boasts a vast array of beautiful flowers. The roof is thatched. So the garden boasts an array of beautiful flowers. So you need to join these two. And at least the roof is thatched. And the roof is thatched. Customers can taste traditional Hungarian cuisine at at a price, at affordable prices. The staff were polite and obliging, but unobtrusive. I arrived accompanied, I would say, by my friends at 2 p.m. on a Friday. I had already made an appointment, a reservation. It's a reservation in a restaurant in advance. The waitress welcomed us cordially and guided us to our table. Because besides means also, in addition, beside, next to, beside the large window, which looked out onto the garden. We relished gazing at the amazing colours of the flowers. We enjoyed the ethereal scent of the roses, the ones in the garden. So the course menu, the menu started with a conventional goulash soup, coupled with red wine. Washed down with red wine. The mouth-watering dessert was our all-time favourite, tiramisu, which won our hearts. While we were eating and talking, we were enthralled by the rural decorations and the atmosphere which the interior exuded. I love that word, exuded. There were some old replica weapons and a few. Notice if you say few, there weren't enough. A few, there were some, and a few agricultural tools on the wall. There were some old replica weapons and a few agricultural tools on the wall. The photos depicted Rosa Sandor, who was an outlaw of the 19th century. He enlisted a considerably large he enlisted a considerable criminal group. Group works, I probably like gang more, from the poorest people, and combated with the police. I think combated and fought against the police. So we had one eye on the main entrance door, anxiously. One of the So we had one eye on the main entrance door anxiously. So let me change this for you. We anxiously eyed the main entrance. The entrance got to be a door, therefore this is a tautology. We anxiously eyed the main entrance, imagining one of the bandits might arrive at any time. Good might, I like that might. Although we had to wait for more than 1 hour, for more than an hour. You use one when it's not 2 or not 3, it's specifically 1. Otherwise, an hour, a minute. For more than an hour, we had to wait for more than an hour while our food was was being made, prepared. Although we had to wait for more than an hour while our food was being prepared, the amiable manners of the staff, the interior design, and last but not least, the delicious food compensated us for the long delay. We were on cloud 9, and I gave few, so that few, not enough. Yeah, there few people turned up for the meeting, not very many. Few is negative, a few is positive, and I gave few tips, generous tips and I gave generous tips to the waitresses. Or I gave a generous tip to the waitress, singular. If I had to choose one of my favourite restaurants, I would opt for this eatery. Yay! Unless you take yourself with your vaccine card. So no. Unless you take your vaccine card, you will not be allowed inside the building. So let's unfortunately nowadays, unless you take your vaccine card with you, or unless you take your vaccination card, you will not even be allowed inside the building. Okay, so what do I give this? You've got quite a few little silly little mistakes that you shouldn't be making. This reminisce, remind, restaurant, by the time that, reservation, not appointment, ED on enjoyed, washed down. You got much better here. Okay, this difference between few and a few, this is not a mistake you should be making at CPE. It reads quite nicely, and I like the way it reads, and that's really quite good. For 1 hour, more than 1 hour, more than an hour. Okay, I'm going to give this a 5 at CPE. This B missing as well. There are a lot of mistakes you shouldn't be making. I give it a pass because it reads quite nicely. The cohesion is very good, and it holds together very well. So, a pass, but by the skin of your teeth, row.